дико я shiny, пару лямов money on my neck of money rain.
It's my name, это мой money rain. No pain, no gain, иди нахуй Monday. Zoro is my name, ра-та-та, bang-bang. Заряжаю, бляга, моя baby mother. It's my name, это мой money.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to Cypherfics. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the first part of What If Issei, Rias find Luffy and his crew. Special note, this fanfic is written in a masterpiece of Leonardo Itini and I am on fanfictionnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. At the sea of the New World, the new Yonko crew of the Straw Hat Pirates was sailing with no problems around the waters of the New World. Even though they are now a big deal in the pirate world, they were still pretty chilled. They weren't scared of any other pirate crew, marine or body hunters that might come to attack them. After Wano, they wanted to take some time off from fighting huge battles. Okay everyone, we have enough supplies that can last 6 months. If we make sure Luffy doesn't go on another slumber slob, we should have enough to make sure everyone has a perfect meal every single day, said Sanji looking at his calculations. Yes, we need to put sea prison stone around the fridge if we want to eat ourselves, said Usopp. The crew was now feeling a little better after the shock of their new bounties. They are now an official Yonko crew with a reward that surpassed 8 billion. It would take some time to get used to the new status. Do we have to put that kind stuff in the fridge, guys? Asked Luffy annoyed. Yes, you already ate 1 month of food in less of a day. Think of us too, you bootless pit, screamed Nami. While Nami was scolding Luffy, the rest of the crew tried to make Jinbei feel at home because now he was officially included into the group and was going to stay with them for the rest of the journey. What is the feeling to be on a crew of lunatics? Asked Zoro. Oh, it's great. I never get bored a single minute here, said Jinbei. Yes, being on a crew as crazy as ours has its ups and downs, but one thing is certain, we will never get bored from one another, said Robin with a smile. Jinbei just looked at his new crew members with a smile. It's been years since he has been on a pirate crew. When he joined the warlords, he was mostly busy handling the deals with the fishmen. Now he is back to be the underling of someone, but it's someone that he deeply admire. You will get used to Luffy stupidly around the ship. Just to let you know that everyone here thinks ahead while he is the last one to realize, said Nami with a smirk. Yes, I get the feeling that you worked like this, said him. Hey Jinbei, what do you think of being a member of my crew so far? Asked Luffy running up to Jinbei who was piloting the Sunny. Oh, it's an honor to be among you all. After that long break, it's finally great to be on the ship where the future king of the pirates lives, said Jinbei. Well, welcome aboard, boss. This is the style that the Straw Hats pirates do every single day, said Usopp with a smile. The fishmen just laugh along with everybody else. While they were having a good time, Nami stopped her laugh as she looked at the sky with a bit of confusion. She looked at her log pose and tried to make sense of what was going on. It was a cloudy day, but nothing serious appeared to happen very soon. Nami, what is wrong? Asked Robin. I feel that big storm might come around. I would say in 2 or 3 hours, said Nami. Can you tell that just by looking at the sky? Asked Jinbei. Yeah, it's kind of a gift. I was always able to deduce the weather hours before it hits, said Nami. Then the sky got even more cloudy, having more and more clouds all around, and it looked like it was going to rain non-stop for hours. Looks like it's going to be a rocky night for us, said Jinbei. Please, the Sunny can survive blast that can destroy cities. A little rain, it's nothing, said Frankie. Yeah, screamed Usopp, Chopper, and Luffy. I don't know, guys. This might be a bit of a rough rain, and since we are in the New World, who knows what else might happen while we are sailing. Yes, that happened when we arrived at the New World, but without those whales we would have been in big trouble, said Nami. How about we stop at some random island to sleep in a comfort place? Nothing against the Sunny, but it would be much better sleep on land this night than risking it the chance of being waked up by a huge storm, asked Robin. Good thinking, Robin. We need to find an island and quick, said Nami. I see one about a few miles from us. It's small, and I don't see any marine ships, said Usopp with his lunette. Jinbei full speed ahead, said Luffy. "On it, Captain," screamed Jinbei, piloting the Sunny. The crew soon arrived at that little island in just a few minutes. It looked like something out of the East Blue. It was small, peaceful, and nothing at all big. It was kind breath of fresh air after all the crazy island they have visited over the past few months. "This kind reminds me of my home," said Luffy. "Yeah, me too, Luffy," said Usopp. The crew soon walked around to see if they could find some information, and while exploring, they saw some people putting flowers everywhere, all dressed in white and all looking very happy. "Oh, what is going on?" asked Frankie. "Did we stumble across a cult island?" asked Sanji. They kept looking around, and they saw people putting shrines and other things around, almost relics to represent something. Robin soon understood what was going on. "I guess it's festival. However, I don't know the meaning of this one," said Robin. "Ooh, a festival? Oh man, so it's going to be a party?" asked Luffy. "We just had one that lasted days. I am tired as hell, and you should," said Nami. "But I like parties," said Luffy. "Do you think his rubber brain got shaken too much in Wano?" asked Sanji. "No, I guess it was always like this," said Usopp. "But a festival is not a festival without a good song to cheer up people's souls," said Brook. "Or booze, that's super important also," said Zoro. "Only for drunkos like you," said Sanji with a smirk. "What did you say, perv?" asked Zoro, pissed. "Never a dull moment here?" asked Jinbei with a laugh. "Yes, it's what makes them so perfect," said Robin. The crew kept seeing people all around praying and putting some kind symbols around. Crosses everywhere. It was clear that this was a religious island, and while there the group saw an old lady and decided to ask what was going on. "Excuse me, lady, can you tell us what is going on here?" asked Chopper. "Oh yes, dear. We are preparing for the Saint Festival," said the old woman. "Saint Festival?" asked the crew. "It's a festival that celebrates God and all the good that He has given to us for the past year. We do this festival for an entire week, where we must confess our sins and not commit any kind of atrocity for the time being. This is how we repay God for protecting us from pirates, bad weather, and diseases," said the old lady. "God? So this is all for him?" asked Luffy. "Yes, we have to put some offerings that meant to us in a spiritual sense, then pray for it," said the old lady. The group saw around a bunch of people talking to fathers and nuns. It appears they wanted to talk about all their wrongdoings and all the sins that they have committed over the past years. "Oh, so it's a religious festival. We haven't seen one of those since Skypia," said Usopp. "Well, that was nothing. I bet they stopped worshipping whatever sits in the clouds," said Zoro, annoyed. "Sir, I won't stand for someone bashing God. Please, don't say those things around the children," said the old lady. "Whatever, I pray to no God. I am my own person, and I don't care if he is watching me," said Zoro, annoyed. "Such blasphemy," said the woman, doing a little prayer to Zoro. "It's okay, lady. He is our special crew member," said Sanji with a playful smile. "Special?" screamed Zoro. "Hey lady, do you know where the restaurants are?" asked Luffy. "Yes, they are on the next street," said the woman. "Thanks," said Luffy. "Good. By the way, you look similar to the Yonko Straw Hat Luffy." "Why is that?" asked the woman. "Because I am Straw Hat Luffy," said him. "What?" said the woman in horror, but before he could say any more, Nami put a hand on his mouth. "Nothing. He doesn't look nothing like the new emperor." "Thank you for your time," said Nami with a smile. Nami and the crew walked off the scene pretty quickly. The woman had only a look of confusion on what just happened right now. On a dead end. "Pow. Ouch. Nami, why did you hit me?" asked Luffy. "We can't announce that you are Monkey D. Luffy, things are different now. Everyone thinks you are the same style as red-haired or Blackbeard. You can't just walk out of the Sunny and shout out like you are Straw Hat Luffy. Things aren't simple anymore," screamed Nami, annoyed. "But I don't care for that. I will tell that I am Straw Hat Luffy because this is who I am," said Luffy. "Shut up. Sometimes I want to strangle you," screamed Nami. "But you do that," screamed Luffy. "Okay," screamed Nami, strangling Luffy. The crew just looked at that scene in amusement. It took a few minutes to separate Nami from Luffy, but after a good meal everyone was getting a lot calmer, and the bloodlust stopped for Nami. At night, the crew decided to stay at a hotel for the time being. Nami was on the boys' room to tell them what she had discovered so far about the big storm that was about to hit the seas. Okay everyone, the rain will start pouring at midnight and I still have no clue when it will stop. So it might be like this for days, said Nami. Sure, it's annoying, but we can make something out of here. I brought some of my pop greens to play around, said Usopp. The storm should end I guess in a week at minimum, said Nami. If you say that it's God's doing then I am out of here, said Zoro. You know that I am not much of a religious person also Zoro. In fact, I guess nobody here is that much, said Nami. Yes, we kind just have faith in each other, said Robin. Whatever. I believe in a God, but I don't pray as much as I used to, said Sanji. Really? That is interesting, said Robin. Thanks Robin-chan, said Sanji. We face a god before. They aren't that tough, said Luffy. One, that guy was a god, he was just a jerk that was full of himself. Second, we beat him because you were his natural enemy. Rubber blocks electricity, that's so simple, said Nami. Well, at least that Eneru guy got his wish granted and was never seen by anyone ever again, said Zoro. Yes, whatever we believe in heaven or hell is up to each one of us, said Jinbei. Only Mosshead is destined to go to hell, said Sanji. If I do go to hell, I will run that place how I want, said Zoro with a smirk. Good to know that at least you will be in your kingdom when you died, said Nami with a smirk. Suit yourself, I know you will be going there too, said Zoro with a smile. You two are starting to scare me, said Frankie. Look, let's just try to act normal for once. We can do it. I know we can, us being member of a Yonko crew is still new so let's take this advantage, said Nami. Okay Nami Swan, we will make sure that nobody here open their mouth about being a pirate, said Sanji all serious as everyone looks at Luffy. Why are they looking at me, thought Luffy. We are going to our room, said Robin. Sure, good night girls, said Brook. Good night guys, said Nami. Night Nami Swan, night Robin-chan, said Sanji in his love mode. The men just decided to relax for a few hours and then hit the sack for the night. In just a few minutes Zoro was already at sleep while the others stay up a little longer before they finally went to rest. A little later. Luffy soon waked up looking desperate. The reason was a full bladder, which made him wake up in pain. Man, I shouldn't have drank all that juice before going to bed, said Luffy running to the bathroom that was outside of the room. After a bathroom break. It was now a very windy night. Luffy was getting out of the bathroom and heading to his room, but he got distracted by the fireflies around his room. Wow, look at all these fireflies. I need to call the others. They are going to, said Luffy with a smile. However, a huge gust of wind took him by surprise and Luffy tried to stay on the ground. Wow, screamed Luffy in shock. The next wind hit him right in the face, and this time it scared him because it made his hat fly off. Ah, my hat! Screamed Luffy at the top of his lunges. Luffy started to run after his hat at full speed, but the wind was not giving him any chances. Despite all that storm surroundings, Luffy wouldn't let Mother Nature take his hat away. Come back here, screamed Luffy, stretching his arm. The rubber kid tried to catch the hat the first time and failed due to the wind changing the position. Come on, said Luffy annoyed. Even with a powerful wind that could be considered a hurricane level, Luffy wouldn't stop chasing his hat. Using a bit of haki and his new concentration, he managed to stretch his arm and grab his hat in the perfect direction. Gotcha, screamed Luffy all happy. While he ran off to chase the hat, he was a bit off from the little village. He was now in a forest near the village, and it would take about a few minutes to go back if it wasn't for the sight of a certain building that was around these woods. Huh? Asked him as he put his hat back in his head. It was an old-looking church, one that it appeared to be almost 100 years old. It was almost crumbling to pieces. There was a weird smell all around. There were even some bones in the ground. Any person would back away from something like that. But it was Luffy, so of course he had only one response. Cool, screamed him. The captain entered the church and saw that it looked old and pretty much on its last days. He could tell that this place must have some stories to tell. This is so spooky and has a weird atmosphere. It's look like something Robin might be into. I need to tell her, said Luffy. The pirate then went to the front of the church, where the priest would speak to its followers. He saw some kind of drawing on the floor and a parchment in the table. What it says here? Asked Luffy. The parchment had something written, and it was all in red for some reason. Only those who possess the powers equal to gods might open the gate. To summon it, the blood of a god must be dropped on its ground. Luffy, however, with his short attention and not very bright brain, had a thought time reading, which was a pretty summoned-up rule. Pose what? Mean this is so hard to read. My head is spinning already, said Luffy. While trying to calm his head, he tried to find something to feel better. He saw some roses and thought maybe their smells might calm him, but he ended up getting pinched. Ouch spikes, said Luffy, now bleeding. The roses were already dead, but its thorns certainly weren't. Crap, I am bleeding. Chopper is going to give me a lecture, I know that, said Luffy as a drop of his blood hit the floor in which the circle was drawn. Ping. The circle started to glow a red color and made the church shake in an intense way. Asked Luffy. Luffy looked to the ground and saw the magical circle being activated. What is this? Asked him, confused. The pirate felt a bit nervous. His haki was acting weird, so he thought it would be a better idea to leave that site immediately. I need to get, said Luffy, trying to leave, but it was too late. The light started to cover Luffy, and he felt a weird sensation as he couldn't see due to the brightness being caused all around him. Ah! Screamed Luffy. The light soon reached a powerful to the point that was impossible to see. At the same time, the heavy rain started to pour, so Luffy's screams were not heard by the village. And just like that, Monkey D, Luffy disappeared from his world. At another world, Rias Gremory, a high-class, pure-blooded devil, was done talking with her peerage for the day. Kiba, Akino, and Kaneko all had their discussion with their boss and were ready to head home. Okay, we are done with today's meeting. I will see you all tomorrow, said Rias. Yes, Bunchu, said Kiba. Have good night, said Akino. The girl was heading to her home. It wasn't the same without her family, but she was managing things up. However, she felt that her peerage needed to get stronger. She had her queen, knight, and rook, and yet lacked several pieces of the chessboard. I need to find new members. Easy said than done. It's not like I can find devils or other creatures in a blink of an eye. Wait, why I am talking to myself? Asked Rias. While she was walking home, she felt some drop of water hitting her school uniform. Asked Rias, confused. She then got hit by a few more drops of water and started to look around, confused. It's going to rain. My weather app didn't say anything about that, said her. However, it wasn't water that was going to be dropped, but instead a 19-year-old that was falling out of the sky for no reason. Rias is someone who has dealt with a lot of stuff in her private life, but that tops everything. What that, asked her, confused to see a person falling out of the sky. Screamed Luffy at the top of his lounges. Soon Luffy and Rias didn't have time to react as the Straw Hat pirate ended up falling on top of the devil girl, pretty much having her taking most of the impact. Bump. The impact didn't hurt any of them. Luffy being a rubber person and Rias for being a devil, she could survive blows that could be critical to humans. However, both were kind dizzy from the impact and Luffy was already with his head spinning that he couldn't tell what was going on. Ooh, someone get the den mushy, said Luffy. Rias saw the boy on top of her. Not only did he survive a fall from this high, but he had his face pressed on her chest. What that? Said Rias, a bit surprised. Luffy finally gathered his senses and saw that he was at top of someone. He saw the person, and it was this red-haired girl that he had never seen before. Who are you? Asked Luffy, confused. The girl didn't know what to say. She could tell that something was off, but she couldn't put her finger on it. My name is Rias Gremory. Oh cool, my name is Monkey D. Luffy. Nice to meet you, Luffy. Can you get off me? Asked Rias. Oh sorry, said Luffy, getting out and soon helping out Rias. Luffy and Rias were cleaning themselves from the dirt that was in their clothes from Luffy pretty much acting like a meteorite and crashing on Rias. The girl wasn't horrified over all that. She confused and wanted answers, but she had a feeling that she wouldn't get all her answers right now. People don't fall from the sky out of nowhere, and I can't sense any energy from angels or fallen angels. So what is he? Thought Rias. Excuse me, but are you okay? asked Rias, but Luffy wasn't paying attention. Wow, I must have fallen from pretty high place. Glad that nothing is damaged, said Luffy, not hearing Rias. She just had a dumb look in her face of shock. He isn't paying attention to me, thought Rias. Hey Rias, said Luffy. What? Asked her. You know the way to the village. I am staying in a hotel with my friends, and I need to return, said Luffy. Rias was confused by the way that Luffy talked. Village? Like an old city? Was he from a faraway place? I am sorry, but I think you are not in the same place you were before, said Rias. What? That's impossible. So you are saying that I am in a different city? Asked Luffy. Yes, I don't where the village you and your friends were, but I can guarantee that this is not the same place. This is a huge city, said Rias. Where am I? Asked Luffy, confused. We are in Kyoto Town, Japan. I don't know where did come from originally, but I guess we are not there anymore, said Rias. It took Luffy about 10 seconds to realize what Rias was saying. He processed everything and then shouted. Wait, so I am lost, screamed Luffy. He just figure out that now, thought Rias in shock. My crew is going to kill me once I reunite with them. I am sure they are worried, said Luffy, super nervous, and Rias decided to calm him down. Don't worry, I am sure I can find a way to bring you home, said Rias, putting a hand on Luffy's shoulder. Oh really? Thanks Rias, you are the best, said Luffy, grabbing Rias' hand and shaking it. Rias just smiled at that naivete and dumb look of this boy. Despite that he sure looked like a nice and very friendly person, and she thought he wasn't that bad looking. He actually has a cute smile, thought her. Do you think you have a way to send me back? Asked Luffy. Yes, but I don't think right now. I need to speak with some people, make some plans. It might take a while, but I am sure that I can do something, said Rias. Well, I trust you, so okay, said Luffy. The demon-haired girl just blinked, surprised by that. They just met 5 minutes ago and Luffy said that he trusted her. She didn't know if that was good or bad in a situation like that, but she had a feeling that this man was docile and nothing to be worried about. Her instincts are never wrong, so she felt a lot calmer. So Luffy, do you have a place to stay in Kyoto? Asked Rias. No, I was in a hotel with my friends, but I guess this is not an option, said Luffy. Would like to stay in my house? Asked Rias. Really? Asked Luffy. Yes, you need shelter, and I need to find a way to send you to the village. Is easier this way, said Rias. Wow, thanks Rias, said Luffy. My pleasure, please let me guide you there, said her. Okay, said Luffy. Rias and Luffy then started to walk at night. She felt a bit nervous, but still had a regular posture, and didn't let anything slide. She needed to know if Luffy was dangerous or not. She could tell he wasn't fully human, but she didn't know what he could be. So what are you? Asked Rias, trying to get some information out. I am a pirate, said Luffy with a smile. Pirate? Said Rias, laughing at Luffy. Don't laugh. I am a serious pirate. I am an emperor, said Luffy, all serious. Oh sure, said Rias, continuing to laugh. Rias' laugh just made Luffy had a pout face in annoyance. He wanted to show her his wanted poster, but he didn't have one with him at the moment. What about your crew? Do they have a name? Asked Rias, stopping her laugh. My crew is called the Strawhats Pirates, said Luffy. Oh really? You named your crew after your straw hat? Asked Rias. Yes, this hat is my treasure. I value it more than anything I ever own, said Luffy. Why? Asked Rias. It's a promise that I made with someone when I was younger, said Luffy, all serious and with a smile. Rias was shocked by that. One moment Luffy was all goofy and not smart, and the other he was serious and sincere. It was hard to have a read on him. I hope they are not worried, said Luffy. Don't be worried. I am sure they will be fine, said Rias. It's okay, they will be patient or find me instead, said Luffy. Why? Aren't you the captain? Shouldn't you be the most important person? Asked Rias. I am nothing without them. Without my crew, I don't even deserve to be called a captain, said Luffy. Rias was surprised by that. If Luffy was indeed a pirate, he was an honest one. A good leader is one that knows the value of each individual member and what they do for him. Rias is like that with her members, and she had the feeling that Luffy is like that with his. So you admit that you are not a perfect leader? Asked Rias. Yes, I can barely navigate. It's a miracle that I managed to get out of my island by myself, said Luffy with a laugh. You sound so interesting, but we can discuss that another time. It's getting late, said Rias. Then Luffy decided to ask Rias a few questions. What about you? Are you a captain? Asked Luffy. I am kind of a captain. I am the leader of an organization, said Rias, referring to her peerage. Oh really? Asked Luffy. Yes, I am the president of the Occult Research Club, said Rias. Occult Recycle Cup? Asked Luffy, confused. No, it's Occult Research Club, said her, going slower in each phrase. What do you guys do in your club? Asked Luffy. We search occult stuff. Things that normally don't happen in the day-to-day activities. We kind like to explore the unknown, said Rias. Wow, that sounds so cool, said Luffy. Yes, it's pretty neat to say the least, said Rias. Rias just kept looking at Luffy like he was an art piece. She didn't take her eyes out of him because she wanted to know more and more about him. I need to know what he is. I don't know if he is dangerous or no, thought her. The two walked to exclusive area that most people didn't know. To get to the Gremory household, you need to get to the underworld. Right now, Rias was one of her many houses in the human world, so she could attend Kyo Academy without having to gone through to different gates. She thought that this could be an advantage because this way she didn't have to worry about devils coming through. Although he doesn't look like a devil or a fallen angel, I can tell he is strong, thought Rias. Hey Rias, are we close? Asked Luffy. Sure, just a few more miles, said her. The two kept walking for more 3 miles until they finally arrived at their destination. At the Gremory household, one of the many. This is my house, said her. The house was gigantic. Luffy could compare this place to the Palace of Alabasta. It was almost as tall as mansion or a castle. Wow, you must be super rich to have all this stuff, said Luffy, excited. My family has some money. This is just a house, nothing much, said her. Can we get inside? Asked Luffy. Sure, said Rias. Rias opened her door and soon was greeted by a group of people all wearing uniforms. Good night, milady, said the many butlers and maid inside of the house. Good night, everybody. Tonight, I brought a guest. This is Luffy, and he will be staying with me for a time. Say hi to everyone, Luffy, said Rias. Yo, said Luffy. Pleased to meet you, Mr. Luffy. Let us take off your hat, said one of the butlers, trying to take off his hat. Hey, wait, said Luffy, not liking people touching him or his hat. Before a fight could happen between Luffy and the staff of the Gremory house, a huge sound. It was so loud that almost every staff member heard it. Growl. What was that? Asked Rias in confusion. I am hungry, said Luffy with a smile. Oh, it's okay. Everyone please tell the chefs to prepare a meal, said Rias. Yes, madam. What would you like, Master Luffy? Asked one of the butlers. A lot of food, anything, said Luffy. Our guest seems not have a definite answer. Just tell the chefs to cook anything that they want and prepare the usual for me, said Rias. Sure, said the butler. Please, Luffy, let me show you the table, said Rias. Wow, thanks, Rias, said Luffy. You're welcome, said her. An hour later, Rias was done with her regular dinner. She had a normal amount of food, while Luffy ate over 40 plates of food from various types. It was meat, chicken, pasta, salads, fish, and all kinds of stuff. Now Rias knew that Luffy wasn't human because no regular person could have a stomach to regulate all that amount of food. Wow, said Rias in shock. Man, I am full, said Luffy with a smile. So I guess table manners aren't your specialty, asked Rias with a laugh. Yes, I never grew up knowing table manners. Sanji keeps kicking me all the time for how I act in the table. Am I being a bother to you? Asked. Sanji? Asked Rias. Oh yes, he is one of my crew members. Didn't I told you about them? Asked him. No, but it's getting late, and this might be a long story, so let's leave it for tomorrow, said her. Okay, but do you think I am being gross? Because this is how I eat, said Luffy. Oh no, it's okay. It's just the first time I see someone eat like that. I gotta say it's impressive, said Rias. Oh thank you. This is nothing you should see when I am really hungry, said Luffy. Rias then got a little laugh. Luffy was a very interesting character, but she could tell he had a good heart. While she was drinking some tea, she saw Luffy staring at her. She didn't know why he was doing this, and that got her a little blush in her face. "Luffy, are you staring at me? Because if you are," asked her, and Luffy cuts her. "Oh sorry, I am seeing that weird thing behind you, and I can't tell what it is," said Luffy looking at the TV. "That's a TV," said Rias. "TV?" asked Luffy confused, seeing the plasma TV. "You never saw a TV. It's a device that we have to see shows and other types of stuff," said Rias being vague. "No, this is my first time seeing one," said him. Rias was now confused. Even in the underworld TVs were used, so that's more questions that she would have to get around to find the answers. "So how does it work?" asked Luffy. "It's complicated. We have things in the sky called satellite that make transmission to various channels across the world, and those transmission come towards this box. I am not very good in this type of explanation, but are you understanding?" asked Rias. "Wow, so it's a mysterious box?" asked Luffy. "Kinda," said Rias. "Man, you really have a bunch of cool stuff. I wish we had those stuff back at the Sunny," said Luffy. "Sunny?" asked Rias. "Oh, it's my ship. Oh yeah, we are talking tomorrow, so I guess I will tell everything latest," said Luffy. "Also late is the time right now. I have to get ready to bed," said Rias getting out. "Why?" asked Luffy. "I have school tomorrow," said her. "School?" asked Luffy. "You never went to school?" asked Rias. "No," said Luffy. Rias then got even more confused. How the hell someone this old never been to a school? "You never went to school? So how can you talk or write? You never went to kindergarten or a middle school?" asked her. "Nope. When I was a kid my grandpa and the people at my village taught me how to write and read, but after that I had to learn how to survive and get stronger. Those are the main things that I know. This is how I got so strong," said Luffy. Rias then thought of options. She couldn't just leave Luffy alone. This could cause trouble. But she couldn't just turn him into a demon because she didn't know what he could be. It was a tough decision, and she might have to ask for Sona help later. "He is something. I don't know what he is, but he isn't a bad person. However, I can't have him just be on his own here. I need the others to help me in this situation," thought her. "Rias, are you okay? Are you head hurting?" asked Luffy. "Oh no, I am just thinking." "I got an idea," said her. "What is it?" asked Luffy. "You are going to school with me," said her. "Oh, why?" asked Luffy. "Because I don't want to leave you alone. If we want to find the answers on how to send you home, we need to speak with the people of my club. We talk after school, so it would be good for you to be there," said Rias. Luffy took a few seconds to understand the full explanation, but as soon she said that it had something to do with send him back to where his crew was, he was all forward. "Wow, sounds pretty cool. I am in," said Luffy. "Okay, I will take care of your application and your whole papers," said Rias. Rias then thought of a possible story to pass around and how to make people don't look too closer on this whole deal. A new transfer student, but she needed more for people to buy it. People will start to ask question on who is he. Maybe as my distant cousin from another country, I can tell he is from Brazil and that he knows Japanese from his mother. It's just first night and I can't stress myself with this. Thought here. "Are you with your head hurting again?" asked Luffy. "No, just thinking a lot. This will be a ton of work, but I can make it work. However, I need you to be a good boy. Can you be?" asked Rias, folding her arms. "Sorry, I am not so good in following orders," said Luffy with a smile. Rias then went close to Luffy and kind look at him with a kind smile. "I will make sure you go back to your friends, but I need you to control your strength and don't be so much direct. Can you do this for me, Luffy?" asked Rias. "Sure, we are friends. I will try," said him. "Good, now please prepare a guest room for Luffy," said Rias to her staff. "Yes, Miss Rias," said the butlers and maid. At the guest room, Luffy was now on his room, and it was bigger than even the hiding spot that Dayton had it. "Wow, this place is huge," said Luffy. "My parents like to spend a little too much," said her. "Do you have any siblings?" asked Luffy. "I have an older brother," said her. "Is he here?" asked Luffy. "No, he is out of town. Family business," said Rias. "That's good," said Luffy. What about you? Asked Rias. I have 2 older brothers. However, one of them passed away 2 years ago, said Luffy a little bit sad at the end. Oh, I am so sorry, Luffy, said Rias, putting a hand on his shoulder. It's okay, I learned to move on. I am alive to keep carrying his flame, and this what I am doing, said Luffy with a determined smile. Rias was surprised to see that expression. He changed from sadness to happy in a few seconds. She could tell that he suffered with his brother's death, and he was still pretty affected, but he had learned to move on. Well, it's getting late. Good night, Luffy, I will wake up you for school tomorrow, said her. Good night, Rias, said her. Rias left his room and closed the door. Her room was across the hallway, so she could be near him. At the middle of night, Luffy was thinking of the situation that he was. For all he knew, he was in another island, and they didn't know how to send him back to the other one. Rias will find a way. She looks smart, said Luffy. He then got a little nervous and a bit sad. I don't know where I am, but I am sure the others will find me, said Luffy. He then thought of his crew and hoped they were okay. Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, Chopper, Robin, Frankie, Brook, Jinbei. Please wait for me, guys, said him. A little later, Rias was not managing to get a good night of sleep, mostly because of the mysterious being sleeping on the other room. She was naked like usual, and she was thinking of Luffy all this time. He is such an interesting figure. I never meet a creature like him before, thought her. She then, though, if he was asleep. I wonder if he can sense me, thought her. The girl put some ropes and went towards Luffy's room. Once inside, she saw the pirate sleeping like a little kid, and she couldn't help to chuckle. Oh, he is so cute, thought her. Luffy was holding to his straw hat very tight, almost like he didn't want this thing to be out of his reach. However, a boy near her, and she got an idea. I wonder if, thought Rias with a smile. She then took off her rope and lay down in the bed next to Luffy, hugging his arm and putting her head on his chest. It's so comfy, thought her as she falls asleep next to him. Luffy and Rias soon fall asleep together, and so this would be start of the Straw Hat bizarre journey, thought this crazy world. At Gremory House, Rias was sleeping alongside Luffy. She was sleeping peacefully while Luffy was pretty much spread like a little kid. She didn't mind all that since the bed was so large that over 10 people could fit there. She soon opened her eyes and see Luffy by her side. So it wasn't a dream. That really happened, thought her. She saw Luffy smiling with that dumb grin even at his sleep. She couldn't help but to smile at that. He is so cute, thought her. After a few seconds of staring at Luffy's sleep face, the Straw Hat Pirate soon awoke. He then saw Rias staring directly at him. Huh? Asked Luffy, confused. Oh, morning, Luffy-kun, said Rias. What are you doing in my bed? Asked Luffy. Oh, I didn't want to leave you alone, so I decided to stay here with you, said Rias. Okay, that's very nice of you. Are you sure you didn't have a bad sleep? Asked Luffy. No, in fact, I had a really nice night, said her, counting to hug Luffy. Really? That's good to hear, said Luffy, getting up. Then the Straw Hat Captain noticed that Rias was with no clothes, and she was pretty much a few inches from his face. Why are you naked? Asked Luffy, a bit clueless. Oh, I like to sleep on the nude. Aren't you a bit shocked by this? Asked Rias with a bit of red in her face. No, that's okay. It's how you like it, so who I am to judge you, said Luffy, all simple. Rias was now a bit more surprised by this response. Any boy would have a heart attack upon seeing her naked while in the same bed, but Luffy was different. He was calm and let her be herself. She kind liked this way. Well then, I bet you don't mind me sleeping by your side every night, asked Rias. Sure, I don't mind that, said Luffy with a smile. Oh, that's wonderful to hear, said Rias. By the way, is there any food around? Asked Luffy. I will tell the servants to prepare our breakfast, said Rias. Yeah, thank you, Rias, said Luffy. Luffy was now out of his bed and ready to run towards the kitchen. The chefs need to start cooking fast or there wouldn't be any more food around. He has such energy, thought Rias with a smile as she went to put her clothes. At the dining table, Luffy was of course stuffing his mouth with a bunch of food like usual. Rias was just sitting at her chair drinking some tea and eating some food. You really waste no time eating, said Rias with a smile. Yes, I need food so I can keep fighting, said Luffy. Oh really, so to fight you need to have a lot of calories? Asked Rias. Yes, I need that in order to get stronger, said Luffy, shoving food all over his mouth. Rias just smiled as she drank her tea. Soon one of her servants appeared with something in his arm. My lady, the uniform has arrived, said the butler. Oh thank you. Luffy, here it is, said Rias. What is this? Asked Luffy, seeing some clothes. Your uniform, said Rias. Uniform? Asked Luffy, confused. Yes, if you want to be in my school, you need to use this uniform. It's an ethic thing. You need to be dressed like this in order to stay in school. Sorry for this, said Rias. Luffy saw the weird uniform. It looked like something formal that Nami would forces him to put it. So I have to use this? Asked Luffy. Yes, but you can still be with your hat, said Rias. Okay then, I don't have a problem, said Luffy, taking his shorts. Rias started to blush as Luffy was starting to strip. No, you can't do this in front of me, said Rias red. Oh sorry, I thought since you were okay staying naked, then though you will be okay with this, said Luffy. I do that only when I am at sleep. I didn't do this at all the time. Go to a changing room upstairs, said Rias. Okay thank you, said Luffy. Rias then saw Luffy going up with the uniform as she was taking a deep breath and continued to drink her tea. Although, so far he has a nice body, said Rias, a bit red. A few minutes later, Luffy arrived using the Kyoto Academy male uniform. He looked like a regular student, but the main difference it was he had his straw hat in his back. How do I look? Asked Luffy. Really good, but do you think your hat will match with your uniform? Asked Rias. No, my hat will be with me no matter what kind of clothes I wear, said Luffy. Sorry, said Rias with a smile. That's okay, said Luffy with his goofy smile. Well then, let's go to school. Come with me, Luffy, said Rias. Okay, said Luffy. Rias and Luffy soon got to Rias' limo. Luffy spent most of the time amazed on how the limo worked. Rias just let him have a nice time in the car. She was lost in thoughts on how she was going to handle trying to explain to the other factions in school about Luffy. A few minutes later, Rias and Luffy finally had arrived. The driver opened the door of the car so the two could get out. This is our school, Kyoto Academy, said Rias. Luffy saw the huge place. It looked like a cool place, but he felt that it was missing something. Sounds cool, but everyone looks so calm, said Luffy. Yes, in school we need to behave. We have things to do around here if we want to go on with our lives. Just don't cause a ruckus and I can help you out, said Rias. So there isn't a fight club or a meat club? Asked Luffy. Oh, there is a karate club and a cooking club. However, I don't think they would fit with them, said Rias. What about your club? Asked Luffy. You can pass there later and you can meet my members later today. After the classes are done we will meet and I will introduce them, said Rias. Sounds cool. I can't wait to meet them, said Luffy. Yes, but don't shout that you are a pirate, and if you don't know something I can answer for you, said Rias. So I stay quiet and you do all the talk? Asked Luffy. Correct, said Rias with a smile. Just like Nami does, thought Luffy. Rias, said a new person with a serious voice. The two were going towards the gate of the school. However, while going there, they were stopped by a girl with short hair, wearing the same uniform as Rias, and she had glasses. Oh, hello, Sona-chan, said Rias, talking with the president of the student council of Kyoto, Sona-citri. The girl was looking at Luffy like he was a criminal. She was expecting him and making sure he didn't brought something dangerous to the school. Who is this? Asked Sona. Oh, this is my cousin Monkey D. Luffy. He changed school from Brazil to here, said Rias. But I am not, said Luffy, confused, and Rias poked Luffy in the eye. Punk. Ouch, said Luffy in pain. Cousin? Asked Sona. Yes, he is from my father's side. A cousin from my father, kind of a long relation, but he is still family, said Rias. Luffy was making his eye feel better and soon tell Rias to never do that again. Okay, Mr. Luffy, listen here, this is a serious establishment. As the student council president, I take my job very serious. If I hear you causing some form of riot or some idiocy, I will put my foot down and make you pay for your disobedience. Understood, said Sona, all serious. Yes, said Luffy, scared. Those manners reminded him of Nami, and he kept having PTSD of all the beatdown that he got. Rias put a hand on Luffy's shoulder and even started to massage a little bit them, so he could feel a little relaxed. Said Luffy, confused. I guess Sona made a good first impression. Just be good, Luffy. I know you like to be free, but if it keeps both of us out of trouble, then it would be for the best, said Rias with a smile. Okay, I promise to be good, said Luffy with a smile. Sure, just get inside, said Sona, pointing at the school. The Straw Hat pirate got inside, and while he was looking around, Rias and Sona were speaking with each other. She had wrote an email to Sona last night while Luffy was sleeping, and she wanted to make sure she knew about it before everyone. So this is the boy that falled from the sky, asked Sona. Yes, I still have no clue in which race he is, said Rias. You better keep him in check, said Sona. It's kind of hard. He is a free spirit, but he can be persuaded as long food is informed, said Rias with a smile. Understood. In this case, you better be ready to have a lot of pressure from students all around, said Sona. Thank you, Sona-chan. I will keep Luffy in check around here, said Rias. Well, you better make sure of it. If something goes wrong, I will gladly put down him, said Sona, all serious. I promise that I will do everything I can, said Rias. Sona just looked at Rias with a cold glare, while the red-haired girl still had a smile on her face. We will see, said Sona, getting inside. Rias let go of the pressure that she was having. This was a lot to take it, but she thought she could handle Luffy and try to manage her peerage around while dealing with high school drama. A few minutes later, Rias was walking around and trying to find Luffy. However, it didn't take a minute since Luffy started to shout out. Rias, scream Luffy. Rias and everyone turned to see Luffy running towards Rias with a huge smile. The girl couldn't help to smile also. Oh, Luffy, you got your schedule? Asked Rias. Yes, a weird guy gave me all these papers. I don't understand them, but I think I am going to get it, said Luffy. Good, this show what classes you will be having by the day. Also show which class you are. Can we see it? Asked Rias. I am in class 3A, said Luffy. Oh, this my class, said Rias with a smile. Great, then we will be together, said Luffy. Yeah, said Rias. As the two were speaking and Rias was showing the halls of the school, the gossip started. Everyone was seeing one of the most beautiful girls in the school speaking to someone new. Nobody knew who Luffy was, but he was already getting the main attention of Rias' grammary. Who is that guy? I don't know, but he is kind of cute, like the Straw Hat. Why is he with Gremory Senpai? I am so jealous. Look at him getting all mushy with her. He is hot. Are they dating? In the midst of the gossip, there was a specific group that saw that scene. It was the infamous pervert trio. The group was formed of a bunch of virgins who were well known to love porn, hentai, and all type of X-rated stuff. The girls found them disgusting, and the man hated them. The group was composed of Issei, Hyodu, Matsuda, and Matahama. Hey, is that true that we heard? Asked Matsuda. Tell me again, who is Rias' Gremory again? Asked Issei. Look over there, said Matahama. The group saw Rias with Luffy, acting all friendly with each other and having a good time. The trio were all burning with jealousy. Oh man, look at that duffus. Getting clear to someone with huge boobs like that, said Matsuda. I don't know who that guy is, but I already hate him, said Matahama. Maybe he is a cool guy, but come on, what does he has that we don't? Asked Issei. I heard around that he is a distant cousin from Rias' senpai, said Matsuda. Oh, so she is into taboo stuff, said Matahama. Come on guys, let's be real. Maybe he is an exchange student and she likes tropical things, said Issei, already having a porno in his mind. While the gossip was going at full around, Luffy didn't understood at all. What are they talking about? Asked Luffy. Nothing, Luffy. Just ignore them, said Rias. Okay, said Luffy. In the classroom. The class was full and Luffy was at the front. The teacher was ready to do the announcement. Morning class. We have a new student. His name is Monkey D. Luffy, and he comes from Brazil. Don't worry, his Japanese is very good, and he is relative from our Rias. Do you want to say something, Luffy? Asked the teacher. Hi guys, said Luffy, all simple, and everyone laughed. Luffy, please sit over there. We have a nice desk for you, said the teacher. Okay, said Luffy, seating at a desk near the window. As he sat on his desk, the teacher started to talk. Okay class, today we will talk about the fall of the Roman Empire and, said the teacher going on with her class. Rias was trying to pay attention, but she was focusing more on Luffy than the lecture. The boy was playing with his notebook rather than taking notes. She could see him doing scribbles and laughing around. He is not even trying to pay attention, thought Rias. Luffy was just doing some random drawings on his notebook, thinking of all the adventures that he and his crew were going to have when he returns. Rias was thankful that the teacher didn't notice that. She might have thought that Luffy was taking notes, but it was great that she didn't saw his notebook. I guess school isn't for him, thought Rias. After class, Rias went to see Luffy, who was still scrambling with his notebook. So Luffy, what do you think of the class? Asked Rias with a smile. I just heard 5 seconds of it and then I started to draw, said Luffy with a smile. Well, I would like to take a look later. I can help you with homework later. Right now we need to leave, said Rias. What, why? Asked Luffy. Is lunchtime, said Rias, looking at the clock. Luke, come on Rias, let's get some, said Luffy, grabbing Rias' hand and running through the halls of Kyoto, looking like a couple. Luffy, calm down, said Rias with a laugh. Where is the cafeteria? Asked Luffy. Is over there, said Rias with a smile. Let's go, screamed Luffy. Ha ha ha, said Rias, laughing. Luffy and Rias were looking like a couple in love. The man and women were all just biting their nails in jealous. Specialty Issei Hayadu. He wanted to have a cute chick like Rias to hold his hand and also check out her melons. Man, look at that guy. He is with a great-looking babe, and I am all alone, said Issei. Excuse me, said a feminine voice behind her. The boy turned around and he saw a cute brown-haired girl. Aha, she is so hot, thought Issei in shock. I am sorry, but I couldn't help to overhear you. Don't worry, I think you're cute, said the girl. Oh really, thank you. I am Issei Hayadu, and you, said Issei. My name is Amano Yuma. At the cafeteria, Luffy was seeing Kyoto Academy cafeteria. It was like those huge restaurants that he sometimes went with his crew. However, everyone was polite, and it was a room full of people screaming and demanding food. Wow, so this is where we eat? Asked Luffy. Yes, we need to show our IDs so the food can be paid later. Here, let me show you, said Rias. Luffy saw how Rias was doing. They grabbed a tray and they would wait for their time to pick their food. So I can pick whatever I choose? Asked Luffy, seeing all that food in front of him. Yes, after that we will just use my ID. Yours won't be ready until tomorrow, so I will let you use mine, said Rias. Oh thanks Rias, said Luffy. While Luffy was getting his food, Rias talked with one of the chefs of the cafeteria. Hello Miss Gremory, said the chef. Hi there, do you have my order? Asked Rias. Sure, here it goes, said the chef, giving Rias a beautiful plate. The plate looked like something out of 5-star restaurant. Rias didn't like to give the vibe that she was a super rich girl, but she was totally one. Luffy, are you? Said Rias, asking Luffy only to see a mountain of food in Luffy tray. The tray was filled with breads, meats, pastas, and all kinds of stuff. Luffy almost took out most of the food of the cafeteria. All this, young man? Asked the chef, a bit horrified. Yep, I am very hungry, said Luffy. Okay, just passed in my ID, said Rias, all calm. As the chef passed Rias' card, the two went to grab a seat. While walking, of course, everyone was talking about Rias Gremory's supposed cousin and his mountain of food. Did that guy just got 10 plates of spaghetti? I don't know anyone can eat all that food. Maybe he is one of those competitive eaters. As the two sat down to eat their food, Luffy started to chow down like there was no tomorrow, while Rias was calmly eating. However, while in his super speed eating, Luffy could tell that this food wasn't the best. It was good, but it couldn't come close to Sanji food. This food is good, but nothing special, said Luffy, still eating. Oh, so you do have food that you don't like? Asked Rias, surprised. So far, Luffy has been a black hole of eating stuff. Yes, the worst thing I ever ate was some bar cherry pie. Blurg, I can still taste that crap even to this day. said Luffy, remembering Mocktown cherry pie. Oh, looks who it is. The new talk of the school, said a new voice. The two turn around to see a new figure. A beautiful girl with long black hair, all tied to a ponytail with a yellow ribbon. Luffy could tell something was weird with her senses. He was detecting danger, but he didn't felt threat at all. Who are you? Asked Luffy. Akino Himejima, said her. Luffy, this is Akino. She is an old friend of mine. Unfortunately, we couldn't be in the same class, said Rias. Oh, nice to meet you, Akino, said Luffy. Nice to meet you too, Luffy. Can I seat with you too? Asked Akino. Sure, said him. The girl soon sat alongside them. Now everyone was shocked to see that the new transfer student was now sitting with not only one but two of the most beautiful girls in the whole school. However, nobody could see that he was clearly mostly focused on eating than trying to see their chest. What? First Rias senpai, now Akino senpai too. How is that asshole got them to even look at him? This is so unfair. While most male students and a few female students were crying in the background, Luffy was having a nice talk with both Rias and Akino. So Rias, when can we pass in your club? Asked Luffy. What is he saying? Asked Akino. I was talking about Luffy about our occult research club. I think we have a few open spots there, said Rias. Akino didn't understand what Rias was saying. After that whole talk, she thought they were going to monitor Luffy and not take directly to their base. However, it appeared that Rias had a plan and she needed to follow along. Akino just needed to be smart and know what to say. Well, this should be good. We only have 3 members excluding you, Rias. It would be great to have another person who is interested in the occult and the gothic style, said Akino. Oh, so you guys go on adventures? Asked Luffy with his mouth full of food. Akino and Rias just laughed at that. Luffy was like a little kid excited. He wanted to know all that was new with everything. Not that much. However, when we see something unusual, we go and try to find out what it is, said Rias, giving an idea of what her club does. Oh wow, this sounds even more fun. I can't wait to get there, said Luffy, now excited. Yes, I just hope everything is in order, said Rias. Well, you seem like a person full of energy, Luffy-kun. What do you think of Kyo Academy so far? Asked Akino. I am not much of those weird talks that they give. However, I like that I can get to have fun with my notebook, said Luffy, thinking of the class. Let's just hope the teacher never finds out, said Rias, as Akino just laughed at that. However, this occult club sounds so awesome. It's going to be something to look forward while I am stuck here. Look for the unusual. I can't wait to tell this to Usopp and Chopper, said Luffy, laughing. Usopp and Chopper? Who are they? Asked Rias. Luffy then stopped laughing, realizing that he was stuck with no way how to get back to his friends. He didn't know if he was going to be lost for a day or an entire decade. He wanted to get back to his friends and fast. They are my friends, said Luffy, a bit sad, and now that tone really made Rias and Akino worried. Oh, I am sorry for that. I shouldn't have brought that subject up, said Rias, sounding concerned. Oh, it's okay. I know that they must be fine. They are going to wait for me. They always do, said Luffy. Really? Asked Rias, surprised. Yeah, we never would split off without the others knowing. We would be a bad pirate crew if we did that, said Luffy. Pirate? Asked Akino, confused. Just go with it, said Rias in a whisper. We once separate for a whole 2 years before we seen each other again, said Luffy. 2 years? What would make someone split off from his friends for a long period of time? Asked Rias, now a bit curious. We needed to get stronger. It's a long story, said Luffy, remembering the interval that he had with his crew. The 2 girls didn't know what to think at this moment. Now they were getting more and more curious about Luffy. Not only he showed up out of nowhere from the sky, but he has never seen modern technology, and he appeared to have a really rough life, even though being only 19. Okay, Luffy, now that we have time and I am very interested on this subject, can you talk your pirates' friends? Asked Rias, wanting to know about them. My nakama? Of course, first there's Zoro. He was the first person I recruited. He is an awesome swordman, trains every day, sleep every day, and has really bad sense of direction. One time we were all walking in a straight line and he got lost, said Luffy, laughing. How can someone get lost in a straight line? Asked Akino. I don't know, asked Zoro. said Luffy. The two girls just laugh at that. Even while talking about other people, Luffy was still a lot of fun to be around. Who else is there? Asked Rias. I have Nami, said Luffy. Nami? Asked Rias, hearing the feminine name and not liking it. What is wrong? Asked Luffy, confused. Nothing. Is she someone close to you? Asked Rias, wanting to know. She is navigator, and she never let me play with her tools. Every time I do, she beats me in the head. But she is cool, she is very smart, she helps us navigate, but she is very greedy and tricky, said Luffy. So in this case, she is very violent towards you? Asked Akino. Yeah, said Luffy, not liking to imagine Nami angry. Well, that's something, said Rias, finding the situation a bit better at the moment. Who else do you have? Asked Akino. I have Usopp. He is my sniper, and he is super funny. He makes all these weird stuff with seeds. He is also a really good liar, said Luffy. Everybody needs a good liar on their hand, said Rias. Agreed, said Akino. Sanji, who is my chef. He is very cool, strong, and loves to cook a lot. He is also a guy who always go after girls, said Luffy, thinking on all the million times that Sanji went to pass the moves on a woman and didn't work. Oh, he is that type of man, said Akino, remembering all the guys that have given her corny lines as poems or love letters. I don't know why he does it, but it's fun, said Luffy, laughing. Rias just smiled at that innocence. She didn't know if Luffy knew about sex or other adults' themes. That would be a topic for later. He must be a pervert, said Rias. I don't care. He is happy and he makes food, so I am okay with it, said Luffy. Well, who else do you have? I am getting excited and interested, said Akino. There is also Chopper. He is my doctor, said Luffy. Oh, good. Having a doctor as a friend is a great help, said Rias. Yeah, and better yet, he is a reindeer, said Luffy. A reindeer? Asked Rias, and Akino, confused. Why did you choose an animal to be your doctor? Asked Rias. Because it's awesome. I mean, he can talk like a human too, so it's easier for us to communicate with him, said Luffy. Well, okay, Dr. Doolittle, said Rias with a sweat drop, thinking on a reindeer with medical gear. There is Robin. She is my archaeologist, said Luffy. Is she someone close to you too? Asked Akino. Well, she is one of my nakama. I value her like everyone else in the crew. She is smart, cool, a bit creepy, but still a pretty kick-ass person, said Luffy. The red-haired demon could sense that Luffy didn't have any attraction for neither of his female crew members. Maybe it was like a work thing, like someone couldn't date someone from the workplace. She didn't understood exactly, but she felt a little better. Frankie, who is my shipwright. He is awesome. He built our ship, the Thousand Sunny. He can make anything be made in a few minutes, and he is awesome rocking a new robot body, said Luffy. He sound very sci-fi, said Rias. Brooke, who is my musician. He is an Afro skeleton who makes all kind of cool songs for us to hear. He also makes these bones puns that are hilarious, and also he goes around towns asking women for their underwear, said Luffy. Another pervert, thought Rias, and Akino read. And then there is Jinbei. He is my helmsman and a fishman. He is really an awesome and really strong guy. It took some time for him to finally join us, but I am glad he is with us. Because together we are all going to sail all the seas, said Luffy, all serious on the last part. The two girls didn't know what to make of this. If Luffy lived in a fantasy world he was super serious about, and if this was all truth, then there is a lot that neither of them could know. The problem is Luffy's origin. Where and how did he ended up in these areas? What is he? And what does he want? The girls couldn't be confident and fully honest with him until he fully opened about himself. All that information that he gave about his crew was worth almost nothing for THME. However, Rias could tell that he loved and cared for them, just like she did for her servants. You miss them? Asked Rias. Yes, I've been here for a day and I wanted them to be with me. We all sail together and do everything the same. Don't get me wrong, I like to make new friends, but what me and my nakama have is special, said Luffy. How did you separate from them? Asked Rias. I went out of the hotel that we were staying. A wind blew my hat away to some creepy place. I cut my finger, and I ended up falling from the sky, said Luffy, all simple. All those stuff happened, but no sane person would believe it. neither a high-rank demon and her queen. Well, that's good that you know how you separate from them. But do you know how did you got here? Asked Rias. I don't know that much. I didn't know what I was doing, said Luffy clueless. Damn it. Context, I need more context, thought Rias. The girl then took a deep breath to calm down and gave Luffy another comfort smile. Okay, Luffy, just calm. While you're here you can stay as long as you want with me. Really? Oh my thanks Rias so much, said Luffy so excited. The red-haired girl just smiled at that, and that also made Akino smirk. She could sense something was going on, and she wanted to know. Can I use your card thing? I want to grab more curry breads, said Luffy. Sure, said Rias giving Luffy her ID. As Luffy left the table, the two girls started to discuss about him. Both Rias and Sona Group were informed of Luffy, and everyone wanted to know what was his. What do you think so far? Asked Rias. It's difficult, Bunchu, said Akino being honest. Luffy was a hard person to get a full detail idea. Do you think he is an angel, fallen angel, or a demon? Asked Rias. I don't think so. We would have sensed that in the spot. Plus, we know how it works when these species are around your territory, said Akino. It's true. However, there is something even more concerning, said Rias. What is it? Asked Akino. His energy is different. It's not like magic, and yet I could sense it. When I was sleeping next to him, I felt a wave of power emitting just from him asleep. I don't want to even know what he could do with full power and control of it, said Rias. The black-haired girl was understanding Rias' concern. Luffy might seem like a good guy, but that's the problem with group, especially the fallen angels. They are all great actors and wouldn't take time to stab you in the back and steal your power. However, Rias was no weak individual. You know he wants to see the club later. What do we do? Asked Akino. Let's do this. I will tell that the club is being fumigated today, so we can't have the meeting for a few days. After that I will tell him that I have some urgent business to deal, and I will send Kaneko to look after him when I was gone. There is no way Luffy could beat her, said Rias confident. So you want Kaneko to spy and keep an eye on him? Asked Akino. Yes, I will give her some sweets as a reward if she does this. They can play around and goof, maybe she can show him the city, said Rias. Where you gonna be? Asked Akino. I need to keep an eye on the real issues that are present here. Rumor has it that there are fallen angels in this area, and if Luffy is one of them we need to strike immediately. We also need to inform Kiba and Sona about this. However, since Luffy is right here we need to put at least one step ahead in this direction, said Akino. I got it, said Akino with a thumbs up. The girls felt that their conversation was done. However, Akino had one more question in mind. Do you like him? Asked Akino. What? Said Rias all red. The black-haired devil smiled at that and kept talking. Be honestly, I think you are hoping that he isn't a fallen angel. I saw how you were when he talked about those girls, said Akino. You are imagine things, Akino. I don't know what are you talking about, said Rias. Well, if you don't I want maybe I can grab a little bit. I think he has a good-looking face and a nice smile. Wouldn't you agree? Asked Akino looking at Luffy. Akino. What? Shut the F up, said Rias all serious. Okay, said Akino with a smile. The red-haired girl was annoyed at that. She didn't like Luffy. She only met a day ago, and she was only letting him stay at her house because she wants her enemies close. However, she was serious on this. She has no feeling for Luffy, nada. With Luffy. The Straw Hat pirate was grabbing as much curry bread as he wanted. This ID card thing was something that he really liked. Instead of berries, you just show this thing, and you can get anything to eat. Man, I need to ask Frankie to make one of these. I wonder if they work in another island, said Luffy. Hey, said someone. Luffy turned around and saw a group of girls staring at him, all of them with hate and suspicious in their faces. However, two that were in the front center were Kades and Miriama, two girls that have a particular hate for perverts thanks to a certain trio. Luffy, seeing all those girls, didn't have a single clue of what was happening. Huh? Do you guys want some curry bread? Asked Luffy. That's not the case. We are here to make one thing clear, said Kades. What is it? Asked Luffy. You take your hands off from Rias Senpai, said Miriama. The Straw Hat Pirate didn't understood what she meant by that. Take his hands away from here and put them where? Why? Asked Luffy. Pervert, I knew it. You are just playing nice to get to be near her, said Cadiz. Yes, any guy on this school play the nice and clueless card around a girl. Not this time, we are not letting two of our most respectable classmates be at the hands of some weirdo from another country, said Murayama, all serious. I am from Brazil, said Luffy, wanting to say Brazil, but he messed up. You don't even know how to say the name right, screamed Cadiz. Maybe it's the accent, said a random girl. Stop being innocent. Just admit that you are trying to peep on her, said Murayama. Luffy didn't know what they were talking at first. Then he remembered all the times Nami beat Sanji up because he was being a pervert. If being a pervert is that makes Nami wrath be awakened, then Luffy wouldn't turn into a pervert. Ooh, now I get tea. No, don't worry, I am not doing anything pervert. Besides, I am pretty sure Rias would beat me for it, said Luffy. Well, at least we know that she would be safe, said Cadiz, feeling a little more comfortable hearing about that. The only time she is all calm and when she is sleeping naked, said Luffy. The girls overheard that and got pissed again. Of course, someone like Luffy was some sort of pervert. What? Screamed Cadiz. You peeked Rias senpai naked like those 3 virgin losers? Asked Murayama. Oh no, I sleep by her side, said Luffy, not understanding and making the situation a lot worse. Get him, screamed the two. Soon a group of girls starting to chase Luffy around the school, shouting out that he was a pervert and a creepier. Luffy didn't understood what was happening as he kept running. Scream him. What is happening? Asked Rias. It appears that Luffy-kun has made a first impression on the Kendo Club, said Akino with a smile. Well, he does leave an impression, said Rias with a smile. Later. Luffy ran all over school and finally managed to escape the grasp of the Kendo Club. He was hiding behind some bushes around the gym. It was like when Nami asked who ate her meals and he had to run for his life in those situations. Boy, they are crazy. What is wrong with those girls? They made me miss my second lunch, said him to himself. While hiding, he was looking to see if he got some of the food that he was holding. But while running, he dropped most of the things. Crap, I even dropped my curry breads, said Luffy, pissed. Hey there, dude, are you okay? Asked a boy coming near Luffy. Yeah, if you count being chased by crazy girls, okay, sighed Luffy. I saw the whole scene. You are lucky that they use kendo swords, otherwise you would be full of bruisers. Ouch, I don't even get in their bad sides, said Luffy, already not liking the kendo team. This was more Zoro League. Trust me, they are very serious and have problem with most men in this school, said the boy. Why do they hate men? Asked Luffy. The boy looked away with a nervous laugh. I don't know. Maybe they are crazy, said the boy, still laughing. You're right. They are completely nuts, said Luffy. Well, it's true, but they have bodies that can really make a guy go crazy, said the boy, now with a pervert tone. Why are you talking about their bodies? Asked Luffy. The boy had a look of shock upon hearing Luffy, like he said something that shouldn't been said. You're kidding, right? You were hanging out with that Rias girl and that other busty beauty, and you weren't checking out their bodies. What are you made of, stones? Screamed the boy all over the top, but for Luffy that was just funny. You are funny, man. What is your name? Asked Luffy. Issei Hayaru. Monkey D. Luffy, said Luffy, shaking hands with Issei. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 2. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author Leonardo Itinane FANFICTIONnet. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.